Hello everybody, Francesco here. I'm just going to be doing some light mobility training, and if you have any questions about what I'm doing, I'll reorganize the camera whenever I need to, but for the most part, if you have any questions, just let me know and I'll try to get to them as I can. This is a way for me to actually do my training as well as get to other people too. And so I figured this would be the best way to do it. I'm just going to go live every time I do some of this work. And if you have any questions along the way, I can answer them and we'll go from there. All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions below and I'm going to get started. So right here, I'm just going to start with some nice passive hanging. So active hanging would be shoulders engaged like that, but this is just passive hanging, and I'm just letting myself hang straight down and just getting the feel of the stretch in my shoulders and my arms and grip strength. My dog might interject from time to time, but I'm just going to do this for a little bit here. And I might push forward into arch a little bit. I might come back to here and let myself hollow out a little bit. But I'm just going to hang and let my shoulders stretch out for a little bit here. A little bit wide with my grip, so I might go a little more narrow and get the stretch there too. This is also a great way to figure out if you have the shoulder overhead ability to do handstands as well. If you can't maintain a straight line or your arms can't stretch out to a straight line in a handstand position like this, if you just invert it, then that can give you an indication of what you have to work on. All right, coming back here, I'm just going to do a little bit of squat work. I'm going to go into a comfortable squat position. My feet have to turn out quite a lot when I first start this in the morning, just because of the way my ankles are, and my right ankle is kind of impinged. So this is what I have to do in order to get down to this position. So it's not quite clear, and then I'm going to go into a forward bend. If it's not quite clear, not everybody's going to have the same squat. Okay, so anyone that tells you have to be in parallel only, okay, I think that's not true. Everybody has different types of hips. And you kind of have to work with that individually with every single person. I'm going to do a few of these back and forth. So I'm going to go from squat position here as far down as I can get into a comfortable squat position as best as I can. And then from there, I'm going to go into a front fold position where I'm folding forward and letting myself just hang, folding from the hips. My dog likes to play. She's still quite a puppy. I'm actually teaching her a lot of tricks too. Front fold, front squat, front fold, front squat. And then I'm going to go back to my hanging. So I'm just going to go back and forth between these two things for a bit, okay? So I'm going to go back to my hanging again. And it's also good for you to switch the grip up every now and then. So if you want to turn your hands around and hang in that position, that works too. Again, always do what feels most comfortable. If you want to do without thumbs, you can do without thumbs. You can do it with thumbs. You can do it wider as well. So you're coming here into a wider position. And that can also change the way it works into your arms and the stretch you get in your arms. You can also do mixed grip, like so. One arm forward, one arm backward if you're having trouble staying on. And you can always have your feet on the floor too if you're unable to hang on for a long period of time. So just keep that in mind. You always have these little adjustments that you can do in order to allow you to actually do the movement. I'm going to go back into my front fold and front squat positions again. Coming down. It's getting a lot easier now. My body's starting to wake up. And then I'm going to go into that front fold position, front squat position, front fold position, front squat position, front fold position. One more time each one, front squat position, and my front fold position. Now I don't always do the same routine. Okay, I mix it up every now and then. This time I'm going to turn my hand, if I was here, completely around to there, other arm right here, and hanging into position like that. So I don't always use the same exact routine. I do a body scan, which means that I essentially listen to the different parts of my body that need a little bit of, maybe one part of my body needs more work one day than another, and I try to give that area more nourishment, okay? Like I'm going to be doing some shoulder capsular stretching in my left side, mainly because that's a side that needs a little bit more work and it's a little more locked up. So it's not always the same thing every single day. I have some basic things that I do almost always. I'm almost always going to do some type of a squat, some type of a fold. And now one more set of both of these. So I'm going to go through my squat position, get down here nice and comfy. And I'm able now to really start to get some more range and ability. I can start rocking side to side now a little more here, okay? I'm able to get into a more narrow stance just because everything's starting to warm up and feeling a lot better. So I'm starting to get more juiced up, so to speak. It's always important also that if you're not too much tension in your neck, try to let your neck relax and just completely hang down. If you need a little more added weight, you can cross your arms. And if you can't forward fold to this position yet, you can always start here. And over time, your body will start to allow you to come down in these lower positions, but you've got to let yourself go through the time and practice of it in order to let yourself open up and feel comfortable. Good. All right, next one. Let's go ahead and go into some arching. Okay, so some arching. I'm going to push back the camera a little bit because I'm going to be lower to the ground for this one. All right, so for this one, I start in my squat position. I try to do everything I can from the squat position if possible, but I'm going to turn so it allows my one of my feet to come up. I'm turning toward the other leg like this, and then reaching back with the lunging legs arm. So I'm here, and then from there, I'm going to push myself open and arch as much as I can. So I'm supporting myself from the back and arching up into that position as best I can, and then coming back to here, through the middle, through my squat. And I'm going to go to the other side, where I reach back with the other arm. Hand comes down, and I'm going to push my hips open as best I can from here, too. Okay? I'm going to do that facing you now. Okay, from a squat position here, I go to one side, I reach back, and then I try to push myself open into an arch as best as I can, and then come back, and then I go to the other side, try to push myself open into my arch as best as I can. I'm going to do that facing away from you now. Full squat position. Reaching back, hand down. Pushing the hips open. Arching as best as I can. And then switching to the other side. Same idea. Opening up and arching as best as I can to that side. And normally I would do this barefoot too. So we're at about 10 minutes. We're going to go 10 minutes more, and then we'll move on from there. All right, so now I'm going to go into some capsular work. Actually, first I'm going to do some front bouncing. Okay, so front bouncing or front fold bouncing. Back leg is going to be bent, front leg is going to be straight as best I can. And I'm going to be trying to get to the lowest position I possibly can get into, and then bouncing downward into this position, nice and low. This is also called ballistic stretching or bounce stretching. Nothing in particular, just getting to a small bounce at my end range here. I'm trying to get myself a little closer to my foot down there. So I'm here, and I just bounce down, and then I switch sides to the other side. Okay, and again, you might not be anywhere near where I am. If you have to be here, that's fine. If you have to be here, that's fine. Okay, all of those, everything along that line is okay. Just bouncing down lightly, very lightly. You can tell that I'm able to carry on a conversation here. All right, so it's not too painful where I can't move properly. Okay, now what does my body want to do? I need to do more lifting of the legs, so I'm going to do some straddle compression work. So this might not work well for you where you are with your straddle. This will work well for me. So from this position here in my straddle, I'm going to be working my hip flexors and trying to lift my legs up. So placing both my hands down, I'm going to try and lift both my legs up off the ground like that, and then come back down again. I'm trying to not lean back too much when I do that, so that I want to make all the work happen from my hip flexors and abdominals and less from leaning back, okay? So from here, let's see if I can get in a position which it allows me to really show off the, okay, good. So from here, I can actually see my back with the light behind me. So from here, I'm going to lift up as best I can, try to pull up in my legs. So here, up, and I'm going to hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then back down. Your legs might cramp up a little bit, and that's okay. Just give them a little massage, and then they'll start to relax again. Same thing again, legs open and straddle. Okay, hands are going to go here. I'm going to lift up as best I can. So hands down, I'm going to push outward and lift upward with the legs. Up and out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Shake the legs out. Shake the legs out. Nice quad cramps. You can also just do nothing to them, and eventually the cramp will go away too. But sometimes people need to just do this to get the cramps to go away. Good. You can also focus on one side at a time. So if I'm here, and if you can't reach your legs or can't get into a straddle, you can do a smaller straddle. You don't have to always do a big straddle. You just train from where you are and what you can get to. And then eventually over time, everything opens up so long as you don't have any actual physical blockages in your body. So I'm going to do one side here. I'm going to hold it up for 10 seconds. So up, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew, and that one really got some strong work in there. I can barely get it off the ground. Okay, now I'm going to do the other side. So just this side right here, lifting that leg up, holding it for 10 seconds. All right, and here we go. And up, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew, I barely made it through that one. I could barely keep it off the ground. Good. All right, now we're going to do legs together. So both legs together and lifting them straight up in front of me like that, okay? So hands are down, lift straight up. I'm going to hold that position. My goal of this stuff, remember, is to increase my strength, my mobility at my end range, or slowly build strength within the range I already have, the mid-range. If I have an injury of some sort, I'm not going to try and train that end range as hard, okay? Because I need to first recover before I can start pushing that envelope again. Both hands down, lifting both legs up and holding for 10 seconds this time since my legs are warmed up now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake those out. Shake those out. Good. Okay, and then I'm also going to do this standing because I find that I'm able to do this on the ground, but it's harder for me to hold my leg above 90 degrees when I am standing. So this is going to be better for that. So I'm going to use something to help me out here. I'm going to hold on to this pole so I don't fall over. And then I'm going to lift my leg up and straighten it out to the front. Try to hold above 90 degrees if I can without a whole lot of bending from my other leg. So from here, I'm going to come up, get into a nice straight, flat top position or slightly above 90 if I can. And then from here, I'm going to extend my leg and try to maintain that height for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can see my legs slowly lost strength over time. My legs started to drop. Okay, here goes the other way. Lifting that knee up. Knees up. I'm going to try and maintain that height there. Okay, and then I'm going to extend it out, try to maintain that height for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And a little bit of work goes a long way because that's going to help out. So my foot was parallel then. I mean, straight up and down. Now I'm going to do it with my foot turned out, which works a little bit more of the psoas muscle on the inside. So before I was here, now I'm going to do it with my leg turned out, like so. And the same idea. So leg turned out, and extend out, and hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm losing that height. You can see it is quite difficult. Other side, same thing. Okay, leg is up. Can't really see me there. Get the light on behind me. So leg is up and turned out, like so. And maintain this, and then from here, I'm extending outward and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And not an easy thing to do. Good, so legs are nice and warmed up now. I'm going to do a little bit of shoulder work, and that should be good for today's first stream. Again, if you have any questions later on, as I post this up, you can also ask questions regarding that, okay? So this is called a capsular stretch for the shoulder. What I'm going to be doing is I lay on my side with my arms straight out in front of me. Okay, like that. That's my first 90-degree angle between my shoulder and my arm. And then from there, I'm going to bend my hand up. So now I make another 90-degree angle. So I make this kind of like square box going on with my body. And now from there, I'm going to grab the top of the hand here, and I am going to push downward until I start getting a stretch in here in my capsule. Go easy with this one. This is one of my my banes. It's one of the ones that is really hard for me to hit properly. So I'm going to go down and hit that position. And when I get there, I'm just going to let it stretch for a bit. So now that I'm in this end position here, I'm going to hold this stretch for a while now. According to literature, okay, you get 130 seconds in this position is when you start sending adaptive signals to the underlying tissue of your fascia that you should be changing the structure of the cells in there in order for you to be in this position for longer periods of time. Because at first, you'll get a light stretch and maybe get a little bit of nervous system response, but you're not going to get adaptive response for long periods of time. And this is something that takes place over months, okay? It's not just going to happen in 1 or 2 days. You got to keep working on this over a long period of time for there to be strong adaptive change. Okay, so I've held this for a while. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push back into my hand. So right now I'm just passively pushing down with this arm, okay? Now I'm going to push back with the top of my wrist here into this hand. Coco, your butt's in the way. Get out of here. Okay, so from here, I'm going to push back, and I'm going to push for about 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I'm going to pull down with the bottom of the hand here. So I'm pulling this way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I'm going to stretch it again
for a little bit longer. About 30 seconds on the next set here. And you can do this about 5 times before you start to like have no more nervous system response, and you kind of used up that that training for the day. All right, so don't do this like 10 times or so. Just do this about 3 or 5 times if you want, or even just once a day if you want to try the minimal dose of what you're doing here. Get out of here, you little bum. Okay, push back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then pull down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stretch again. And as I start getting into deeper stretches, I might hold it for just about 10 seconds at a time. You can see it's much lower now than it was when I started. Okay, it was like about here before. Now it's about here. And so long as I'm not cheating it by shrugging my shoulder in some weird way or lifting my shoulder off the ground, I can tell that that's actually getting better. So here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand back on, stretch for 10 seconds, relax. I should have brought a pillow or something for my neck because I'm having to keep my head lifted the whole time. I don't want it to be too relaxed and then my neck will fall asleep. So again, here we go, pushing back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then pulling. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then after all that, I'm just going to go through some rotational range of my shoulder by itself. Back and forth like this, just to relax the shoulder and get some movement back into it. Okay, if you want to look up this type of training, it's called pails and rails training. Essentially developed over time through lots of different practitioners, but the pails and rails specific technique, that kind of work, also known as contract relax or end range training, that's going to be underneath Dr. Andrea Spina of the Functional Range Systems. Okay, so, and now you can't really see anything yet, but that's essentially what I'm trying to do for this shoulder to start giving it more range to work with, because it's got a lot of issues, especially in the bicep tendon area. It's very inflamed, so I'm trying to work on developing that area more. Okay, that's it for today. I got to get to other things. If you have any questions, let me know below, and I'll be doing these as often as I possibly can and putting them up on here. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.